right. All right, we've got all of the things working. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this Yinergy hour-long class. So if you guys have blocks or books, if you want to go ahead and grab them. The first part of the class, we're going to be focusing on a good amount of core work. So blocks if you have them, or books. If you have a blanket, if you'd like them. If you'd like to use one for your knees, that's fine. So we'll just give it a minute and get everyone settled, and we'll get started, okay? First thing, just make sure you're bringing yourself into a nice, comfortable seat. And if you have blocks, you can always place them underneath your knees. Sitting in Sukhasana, nice and comfortable, removing the flesh from the sit bones, rolling back the shoulders, taking a nice deep breath, allowing the palms to face upwards so we can invite in some good positive energy. And starting to regulate the breath. Gently closing the eyes. Starting to quiet the chatter that might be moving through the mind. Trying to focus on being in the present moment today in class. Focusing on the body and how it moves and how it feels. Trying to keep everything else kind of on the back burner. As we breathe in, we expand the area in the chest, and then we keep that height, and as we exhale, we get all the air out of the belly. Shoulders drop away from the ears, feeling the muscles start to relax, and when the body starts to relax, the mind can start to relax as well. Relax the tongue off the roof of your mouth, relax your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. And you can find some stillness here if you'd like to move the head gently side to side. I invite you to do so. Interlacing the fingers, exhale, reaching over to the left, gazing up towards the hands, taking some more movement in the head and the neck. Inhaling up. Exhale, drop the shoulders away from the ears and reach to the right. Inhaling the arms up, releasing the arms behind the body, interlacing the fingers, driving the thumbs down the spine, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, leaning forward, lifting up the arms any amount. Keeping the chin up, keeping the throat open, leading with the chest. Exhale a little deeper. Inhale, squeeze through the pelvis, come all the way up. And release the arms. Placing the left hand down, reaching nice and long with the right. Pressing the hips down into the ground, pulling the shoulder away from the ear. Try not to have it crowd the face. Gazing towards the fingertips, coming down onto the forearm if you'd like, or if you have a block. Looking for length in the side of the body here. Inhale up. Exhale, reaching over to the other side. And inhale up. hands down through the heart center, Anjali Mudra. If you'd like to take a moment here to set an intention for your practice today, a word, a phrase, a mantra, something that resonates and holds value to you, something that when the mind starts to wander, as we know it does, that you can come back to and use that to draw yourself back into this space, back into this present moment. So just take a couple minutes, a nice few long, deep breaths, and pick a mantra for yourself today. Settling down into the body, already starting to feel more calm and yet energized at the same time. We'll make our way into a tabletop position, starting to work out the spine. Coming into Mayurasana, cat. We exhale, we arch the back, we pull the belly button in, we press through the hands, we drop the head. Inhale, tilting the pelvis, pulling with the hands to get the chest through the shoulders, lifting up the chin. Exhaling, arch the back. Inhale, rolling through, still using that breath. You don't have to go at the exact pace that I'm going. Do one that's right for you. Allow your breath to dictate the movement. Taking 3 more rounds. And when you're through, meeting me in a tabletop position, nice and neutral, neutralizing that spine. Moving out the hips. Sitting down towards the left hip. Pressing down, maybe even reaching the hands a little farther forward, pressing through the knuckles. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center again, over to the side. Inhale to center, and last one. Back into that neutral tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend out the left leg, and we're going to extend out the right arm. We're going to come into that cat pose, so we're going to arch the back and pull that belly, and we're going to bring our knee to our elbow, and exhale, reach nice and long, like someone's pulling your fingertips. Flex that back foot, keep it nice and long, reach through the heel, coming back in, pressing nice and tall, creating space for the leg, extending out, flex, press through the arm, lift the body nice and high, coming in, and out. See how long you can get the body. One more time, in, and out, holding here, seeing how tall you can get, lifting the chin, placing the hand down, placing the knee down, moving those hips side to side. Other side, extending out, nice and long, reaching with that hand, noticing that one side might feel a little more balanced than the other. Find that center, squeeze that belly in, squeeze the hips together, exhale, drawing the knee to the elbow and reaching long. Finding a nice fluid movement, motion. Remember to create that space. There's room for the legs to come in, flexing that back foot, reaching through those hands. And 2 more times. In and out. Last one. In and out. Holding here. Getting as tall as you can. Dropping the hand down. Dropping the leg down. Moving those hips side to side. Finding our way into our first downward facing dog of our practice today. getting a nice grip on the hands. If you do have blocks, make sure we keep those handy at the front of the mat. We're going to be coming into some postures where they might be handy for you. So popping into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up nice and high. Exhale, allowing the heels to come close to the ground, any amount. Now drop the head, release the neck, release the shoulders, and press through the heel of the hand and the knuckles to get your chest closer to your legs. Pedaling out those feet. Pulling the belly in. Coming way high up onto the tippy toes. Keeping those hips that high, and exhale, lowering the heels. Pedaling out the dog. Going through our first vinyasa of the day, our first flow. Rolling the body forward into plank. Modification here will be coming down to your knees. We keep the belly pulled in, we keep the elbows inner rotated, and we drop the chest down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Nice deep breath. Lifting up that right leg, nice and high. Press down into the heel. Relax the head and the neck. And we'll open up the hip. Bending at the knee. Bringing the heel towards the bum. Gazing underneath your right arm. If it's in your practice here to flip your dog, by all means drop it down and lift up. Finding our way back, hips are open, three-legged dog, square those hips. We can keep that leg nice and high or drop it down or come to our knees, yogi's choice. Rolling the body forward into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Nice deep breath here. Feeling those arms start to warm up, those legs start to warm up. Lifting up that left leg. Press down into the heel. Opening up the hips, bringing the heel towards the bum, gazing underneath that left arm. If it's in your practice, flipping your dog. And finding your way back into three-legged dog, squaring the hips. Again, Vinyasa, yogi's choice. Rolling the body forward into plank. Coming down first with the chest. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Slowly walking those feet forward. Pressing nice and tall through the hands. Meeting me in Uttanasana, our forward fold. Shake out the head. Shake out the arms. Maybe grab the shoulders. Moving side to side. Inhale, half lift. Dragging the fingertips up the legs, just under the knees. Pulling the shoulders back, gazing forward over the front of your mat. Nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Take those hands and walk them over to the right. Give yourself a little twist. Back to center and over to the left. Use that breath to get a little deeper into the stretch, coming back to center, bending the knees, sweeping the arms up, sitting back into chair pose. Nice deep breath. Holding here, drop those shoulders. Every exhale, we get a little deeper. Make sure you can lift and spread those toes. Make sure your thighs are nice and long. You're pressing down and back. Reaching the hands behind you, keeping the heart open. Using that breath. Making sure you're heavier in the heels, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward, releasing the legs, pressing through the hands, shaking out the head. Slowly walking the hands to the top of the mat. If you have blocks, you can place them in position 2. Place them on your hands. We're going to take a step forward with the left leg, and we're going to lift up the right leg. Coming into a standing split, position 3 if you need your blocks a little bit higher. Pressing through the ground or the blocks, pulling the shoulders back, holding nice and tall. Good, now we're gonna come lower. We're gonna bend those elbows and we're gonna drop the head down, squeezing through that bottom foot. Pressing back up into that nice long flat back. Bending that front knee, coming into a crescent lunge. So we're gonna bend that front knee, we're gonna flex that back foot, we're gonna move the blocks closer to the foot, and we're gonna drop down into crescent lunge. Squeezing the belly in. If you've got blocks in your hands, you can go ahead and hold on to those blocks. We're gonna lift up the right arm. Pressing down in that back heel. And then lifting up the left arm, twisting. Nice deep breath. Arm windmills down. We're going to step back up into that standing split so you can take the blocks a little bit out in front of the mat. We can bend that back leg, pressing up, squeezing those hips together. If you'd like to maybe micro bend that bottom knee so you feel a little bit more supported. And we can take the hands and we can reach backwards. Holding here for 3, 2, placing the hands down, bending the knee, and standing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees and rolling the body all the way up. Arms follow, little back bend, and hands come down to heart center. Nice deep breath. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forward, finding your hands on those blocks. We're going to take a step forward with the right foot and we're going to lift up that left leg. Noticing how this side probably feels different than the other. Trying to keep those hips square. Micro bend that front knee if you need to. We're going to come a little lower with the head. Try that balance. Squeezing that belly in. Lifting up. And then we're going to bend that front knee. Take the blocks closer to the right foot. Flex the foot and lead and drop into our crescent lunge. Nice deep breath. Lifting up that left arm. Pressing down into the hips. Sweeping back around and lifting up the right arm. Hands come down. We're going to press back into that standing split so we can move those blocks a little bit in front of us. Bend that back knee, pressing up. Making sure that we're nice and tall and our gaze is forward. We can bring the hands behind the body if you'd like. Nice deep breath. Hands come down, foot comes down, forward fold. Bending the knees and making your way into chair pose again, Uttanasana. Reaching and sweeping the arms up. Lifting and spreading the toes, gazing in between those hands, pulling the shoulder blades back. Reaching the hands behind the body, opening up the chest, keeping that gaze forward. Exhale a little deeper. Again, check those toes. We shouldn't be leaning forward, gripping with the toes. Should be able to open them up. Reaching up nice and tall. And exhale, dropping down into a forward fold. Bending the knees and slowly rolling the body up. Nice deep breath. Arms follow. Inviting in a little back bend. And exhaling your hands down through your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment here, connecting with the breath. Thank you guys all for joining me. Hi Karen, hi Matt. Hi Amanda and Jackie. So finding your way to the top of your mat, always leaving space for the hands. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forward, placing the hands down and stepping back into plank. Nice big step back with the right, nice big step back with the left. Adjust the hands so that they're underneath the chest, pressing up nice and tall, and holding here. Squeezing that belly in. Tilting to the side, rolling the body up. Modification here, you can drop that back leg, or if you'd like, you can lift up that top leg, rolling over. Nice deep breath. And coming back to center. Coming into our vinyasa. Let's do that extra push-up just for fun. Pressing down, squeezing up, going through our flow, rolling the body down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, back, Child's Pose. Take a moment in Child's Pose. Allow your body to relax, allow you to come back to your breath. Nice deep breaths here. If the head is down, you can roll it side to side. And maybe just take a moment to touch back with your intention for your practice today. Taking nice deep breaths. Slowly rolling your body up into a seated position. Nice deep breaths. So from here, we're going to come into camel. So if you have blocks, they'll probably come in pretty handy here. I like to take my knees about hips distance apart. And I like to we're going to start with the right. So take your block and place it right below your knee, right at your calf muscle. Inhale the arms up. We're going to exhale, we're going to drop this right hand down, and we're going to lean back. So if you can make contact with the floor, that's great. One thing we want to make sure we're not doing is leaning back. So what we're doing is we're pulling up the thighs, we're pressing down and forward to open up the back. Arm comes behind us, left arm comes up, gazing towards those fingers, nice. Good, inhaling up. Exhale, switching sides, so finding that block, placing it by the calf. Exhale, finding the block again, reaching down. Again, pushing down and forward, not leaning and hinging back. Side might feel a little bit different, a little bit tighter. Nice deep breath, gripping through the tops of the feet. Inhale the arms up. Exhale your hands down through your heart center. Maybe placing another block, coming into full camel. So some modifications here. If full camel isn't really feeling great for you today, or if your body's not into it, we can place the heel of the hands on the sacrum, point the elbows back, and exhale, press down and open the chest this way. Or we can reach the arms up, bring the arms behind us, maybe find those blocks or the heels, and open up the chest. Nice deep breath. If your hands are on your sacrum, dropping the shoulders away from the head, and rising up. Good, having a seat down or on the blocks. Nice deep breath.
Don't make any noise.
And then reaching the arms out to the side and grabbing the head, lifting it over. Nice stretch. Switching sides. Nice deep breath. Allowing the hands to come down to the side of the body. Having a seat. And my baby. Sorry about that. All right, coming into some boat poses. We need to work on those abs today. So our first boat pose, we're just gonna come into it by holding the legs up, squeezing the body in. 90-degree angle works just fine. So hold and drop the hands. You wanna keep the chest open and down. Holding here, holding here. Using that breath. Pulling the knees into the body, sitting up on the top of the tailbone. Exhale again. Now this time we're going to flex the feet and we're going to bring the feet low and long, hovering them over the ground. Squeeze the belly in. And we're gonna pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees into the body. Nice deep breath. Boat pose again. Knees up, 90-degree angle spine. Pull that body up. We don't want to be here, rounding the tailbone. We want to be nice and tall. And hold. Don't forget to breathe. It's very helpful. Sitting up taller with each breath, squeezing those legs into the body for 3, 2, 1. Grabbing the legs. Nice deep breath. Good work out there. And then for the next one, we're going to hover and pulse again. So flexing the feet, extending out the legs, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and squeeze them in. Nice deep breath. Another round of those. So back into our boat pose. Sitting up nice and tall. Dropping the hands down and hold for 5 breaths. Squeeze the knees together. That's 3. 4. Sit up nice and tall. Last breath. And pull the legs in. Flexing those feet, extending them out long, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gathering the knees in, placing the soles of the feet down, and take some windshield wipers side to side. Dropping the hand down, extending out the left leg, and reaching up, putting the right leg behind us. Nice twist. Switching sides. And back to center. So the next couple boat poses that we're going to be doing, we're going to incorporate some blocks or some books. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into the boat pose, and then when we're through, we're going to cross the legs. We're going to keep the heels hooked, and then or the ankles hooked, and we're going to take our blocks. We're going to press down, squeeze through the belly, lift up and lower. So if you're trying this for the first time, if you haven't done this before, then I want you to make sure that you understand that you might not lift off the ground at all. So yes, good. So if what we're not trying to do is we're not trying to press up with the hands. We're trying to lift from the pelvis. So squeezing the body in together, and lifting up all the way. So squeezing in and lifting up, staying nice and tall. So we're going to do this 3 times. So we're going to lift up into boat pose, holding nice and long. 3 breaths. 3. We're going to cross the legs, keep them off the ground. Find our blocks or our books. Lift up and lower, extending right back into boat pose. 3 breaths. And cross and lift. Lower, extending back into boat pose. Staying nice and tall, 2 breaths. And cross, and lift, and lower, and let the knees come down. Good work, good work. Take some movement side to side. Good, nice work, nice work. Finding our way into downward facing dog. So gripping the mat, pressing down with the knuckles, tucking the toes, sending the hips straight up. Exhale, straightening the arms, dropping the head. Nice deep breath. We're going to lift up that right leg nice and high. And as we lift that leg up, our hips stay square, our foot's flexed. We press down into that back heel, stretching that back leg, pressing the chest towards the thigh. We're going to bring that leg to the outside of the right hand. We're going to drop down to the knee. We're going to come into this nice deep hip opener. Modification here, if you'd like, you can come onto the outer edge of the foot. So if we're moving the knee open, we're opening up the entire hip. The ankle shouldn't sickle at all. This should not feel any different in the ankle because we're using it like a hinge. So we're opening up. Modifications here, if you'd like, you can come down to your forearms. Take some movement. Nice deep lizard pose. Placing your hands down, rolling that knee back and that ankle back if you were in that position. And then we're going to take our hands and place it on the outside of our foot, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and invite this right foot back to meet the left in downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Going through our flow, yogi's choice. Coming to the knees if you'd like to, rolling forward into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lifting up the leg. Left leg goes up this time. Exhale that heel down. We tend to kind of try to come onto the ball of our foot. Exhale. Bring that foot to the outside of the left hand. Dropping the back knee. Dropping the back toes. And yogi's choice here, if you want to open up that leg, that hip. Again, we're pretty much rolling onto the outer arch of that left foot and allowing the knee to follow. That whole part of the leg moves as one. So you shouldn't feel any tension or pressure on the ankle or the knee. And if you do, maybe just reassess your position. Start over. Coming down to the forearms. Finding your way back up. Allowing the foot to find its way back to the mat. Placing the left hand on the outside of the left foot. Tucking the right toes, lifting the right knee, and inviting the left leg back to meet the right in downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Going through our vinyasa, rolling the body forward into plank. Nice and strong here. Press down through the heels. Bring the chest directly in between the hands. Elbows stay pointed back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back, child's pose. We're going to take a wide child's pose here. Another option for you, if you'd like, you can come into frog. So if you're going to come into frog, we're going to get into tabletop position, and we're going to open up the knees, and we're going to drop to the arms. So we're going straight down into the hips. If you have a block or a pillow, place it at your belly button and allow your chest to lay on the block. By doing this, we're freeing up the pressure of trying to hold ourselves up, because we really want to open up the hips in this posture. So if we're focusing on holding ourselves up, our upper body's tense, our shoulders are tight. By using the block, we can relax the body around. You can even use a second block for the head. We want to relax the face, relax the shoulders as much as we can so we can get deep into those hips. If this isn't comfortable for you today, like I said, just come into a wide-legged child's pose. We're going to be here for just a couple minutes, so take your time. Allow your breath to release the body, relax the shoulders. We carry a lot of tension and stress in our hips. So creating space and allowing the air to move through the muscles and the nerves can be really, really freeing. The longer you can stay in this position, the better. Once you're ready to come out of it, that's when the position actually starts. We want to keep the mind as quiet as possible in this posture. We want to quiet all the thoughts that are coming through. Maybe use that mantra. Maybe just focus on the sound of the breath or the sound of my voice and kind of let everything else go. Every exhale, you feel yourself relaxing a little bit deeper into the posture. You feel the mind just becoming that much more quiet. Noticing the light and the shade and the air touching the surface of your body. Recognizing the sounds around you, both near and in the distance, and just allowing them to be there. Sending your breath to the area of the hips that might be a little tight, a little tense. Maybe one side feels different than the other. Three more nice deep breaths. We're going to get out of this asana nice and slow. So from whatever version you're in, we're going to place the forearms on the ground. We're going to place the hands now next to the chest, right underneath the chest. And as we press into the ground to lift up, we're going to pull the belly in like we're coming into cat, pull the hips up and bring the knees together all at the same time. So we can tuck the toes and use those as help. Pulling up, squeezing in, and yes, taking some motion side to side. Automatically just feeling all that space that we created in those hips. So take a couple moments, just maybe do some circles. Maybe extend one foot behind the other. Taking your time. Good. Hi Cassie, hi Jackie. Hi Julie and Ellen. Great, so now those hips are gonna feel nice and open. We're gonna make our way into that tabletop position again. We're gonna tuck the toes, lift the hips, pressing back into downward facing dog. Nice deep breaths. Rolling the body forward, going through that flow. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Slowly walking the feet forward. Meeting me in a forward fold. Shaking out the head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Allow the head to relax and maybe bring the chin to the chest. Stretching out the whole spine. Slowly rolling the body up, vertebrae by vertebrae, taking your time. Arms follow, placing the palms together and inviting in a small back bend. Exhaling our hands down to our heart center, Anjali Mudra. Nice deep breath. Coming into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. We're going to take the left foot and we're going to take it to the top of the mat. We're going to bring the right foot all the way back. We're going to have the toes pointing to the side of the mat. We're going to keep the hips nice and open. So our hips are open to the long way of the mat. We're going to press through the ball of the front foot. We're going to press through the inner arch of the back foot. We're going to open up the arms and gaze forward over the fingertips. Nice deep breath, side angle pose, dropping the left arm, palm facing up and active, reaching nice and long, gazing up towards the fingers, squeezing the feet onto the ground. Exhale back, Warrior 2. Dropping the right hand down, turning the palm of the left hand, reversing the warrior. From here, we can take that right hand and grab the left wrist and give yourself a little tug. Back into that reverse warrior and back into Warrior 2. Nice deep breath. We're going to turn the left toes forward. We're going to turn the right toes out. Switching our warrior, bending into that knee. We want to make sure that that knee isn't coming over the foot. If it is, widen that stance. Pull the belly in, reaching out nice and long, gazing over the front hand. Side angle pose, dropping that right hand down, reaching nice and long. Trying to create a long line from your ankle to your hip to your shoulder to your fingertips. Back into Warrior 2, pressing yourself up. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. You don't want to be up here. Drop them nice and low. Reversing the warrior, dropping the left hand, turning the right palm up, reaching. You can grab that wrist. Give ourselves a little tug. Back into that reverse warrior and back into warrior two. Placing the toes both pointing towards the front of the room. Maybe even scooch them in just a little bit. Reaching the arms out. Exhale, forward fold. When we forward fold, we're keeping the chest open. We're leading with the chest, trying to bring it over the top of the mat. We're going to hinge at the hips. Nice long flat back, arms out, head is engaged. Exhale, we're going to take the left arm. We're going to reach to the outside of the right leg. Gazing up if you'd like. Squeezing through the belly, coming into that flat back. Exhale, other side, reaching to the outside of the left half with the right hand. Opening up, gazing. Using those ab muscles, coming back into that flat back. Arms come down. We can take the feet a little bit wider here if we'd like. And we're going to drop all the way down. If tripod headstand is in your practice, by all means. If not, just hang here. If you're coming into tripod headstand, drop the head. Slowly lift the heels. Bring the legs together. To come down, we come back right down. Open up, tilt the pelvis, and drop the feet down. Nice deep breath, pressing up in those hands. Nice long flat back. And then exhale, folding forward again. Lifting up flat back. And then reaching one arm out at a time. Finding that stability to come all the way up. And heel toe those feet together. Good, shake it out. Good work, good work. Maybe take some movement in the shoulders. Some rolling forward. And backwards. Good. We're going to find our way into a seated position. Blocks out of the way. Forward folds in Asana. We're going to start in. So remove the flesh from your sit bones, pressing down into the ground, flexing the feet. Again, broadening this area, reaching the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. If you have a block, you'd like to place it so you can rest your head on the block, by all means. Use that breath. Allow the breath to drive. Allow it to drive the body a little bit lower. Allow it to relax. And we're not trying to just come straight down. We're long. We're keeping the spine nice and long. Slowly rolling the body up. Take the hands, scoot the bum towards the feet. Grab the knees and find your way onto your back. Taking some movement side to side. Rolling out the back, giving yourself a little massage. Soles of the feet down. If you have a block, go ahead and place it in probably position 2 underneath the back. So we're going to put the block right on the sacrum. So pretty much where the pants meet the body is a good place to start. We can adjust if we need to. Now, we want to make sure that that didn't just cave our chest in and make our chin touch the chest. So we want to pull the head back, roll the shoulders under slightly, lift up the head and the neck. Nice deep breath. If you don't have a block, that's fine. We're just gonna drop the knees down to the left. Might have to scoot a little on the block. We're gonna let gravity help us. We're gonna feel that all in the top of the leg. So we exhale, we drop down. Like I said, adjust that front leg wherever is comfortable for you. Every exhale, you're getting deeper and deeper. Try not to arch the back too much. Try to keep this part of the body pretty straight and just allow that knee to fall. Two more breaths. Finding the legs back to center, maybe scooting over on the block a little bit and dropping down to the other side. Nice deep breaths. So for a lot of us, as we've continued our yoga practice that we've been so diligent at, just dropping the legs down to the side on the ground might not be a super tremendous stretch for us. So by using this, getting the height that we're getting and allow the legs to fall a little bit deeper, we're really getting that stretch that we were looking for, that sometimes we just can't achieve just laying flat on the ground. And if this is too much for you and you are on a block, by all means remove it and allow the legs to fall from one side to the other. Finding your way back to center, leaving the block where it is. And we're gonna extend the legs out. So almost like the position of Shavasana. So the legs are gonna be a little bit wide. We're gonna allow them to splay open. And we're just gonna open up the pelvis. If this isn't comfortable for you, you may, by all means, remove the block. If you want a little bit more, you can go into position 2 or 3. Again, keeping the chest open, the shoulders rolled underneath, and the chin slightly lifted. From here, soles of the feet come onto the mat. And we're going to lift up into a bridge. So pressing through the feet and pressing through the shoulders, lifting up the hips. You can leave that block there to come back down onto. Slowly lowering down. Nice deep breath. Bridge 2. We can do that same modification, or we can interlace the fingers and bring the shoulders under deeper, pressing through, coming into a taller bridge. Make sure you can lift those toes. Make sure you can lift that head. You shouldn't be pressing into the back of the head. Slowly lowering down, releasing the hands either onto the block or onto the ground. So our next bridge, we can do the first modification, we can do the second modification, or if we'd like to come into shoulder stand, I'll demonstrate that if and only if it's in your practice and you feel safe doing it today. So pressing up, rolling the shoulder blades under, placing the heel of the hands on the sacrum. Get those hands or those elbows and arms farther under the body. Again, we can move the head. We lift up the legs, we press and lift nice and high. There's still a bunch of room in my throat. I'm not squishing anything. And if we want to come into plow, we flex the feet. We hinge from the hips and we press forward, allowing the feet to come to the ground. And slowly making your way down from your bridge or down from your shoulder stand. And nice deep breath. Taking some movement in the hips side to side. And if there's anything else that your body needs before we enter Shavasana, by all means go ahead and take it. Maybe a happy baby where we can grab the big toe with the peace fingers. Maybe opening up the hip a little bit. Those hips should feel pretty good after today's practice. Nice deep breath. And finally, making our way into Shavasana, our last pose of our practice today. So we can extend the body out, bring the legs a little bit wide and allow them to fall open. So we're not like holding the feet straight up, and the arms can come to the side, palms can face up. You can come into Sapta Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together, leaving those hips nice and open. If you do have blocks, you can always place them underneath your legs. Or you can come into a resting pose where the soles of the feet are as wide as the mat and the knees just gently fall into each other. So however you'd like to take your last posture today, make yourself comfortable. Maybe if you have a blanket, you can cover yourself with a blanket. And just start to close the eyes. Start to relax the body. Start to draw that energy that you just created back to the center. Using that breath, finding that ebb and that flow again. Hopefully you were able to keep it throughout your practice. Nice deep breaths. Again, recognizing the sounds around you, just allowing them to be there, keeping that mind quiet, either focusing on the sound of your breath, sending it down through the body if there's any areas that are maybe just still a little tight or a little tense. Just picture a nice deep cleansing inhale, and as you exhale, picture it traveling through maybe down to the hips. And as it passes through the hips, it goes all the way down the legs, and any tension or any stress just floats out the tips of the toes or the tips of the fingers or the crown of the head. Taking those nice deep breaths as we enter Shavasana. Slowly taking some movement in the fingers and in the toes and just bringing that light back into the body. Reaching the arms overhead and extending out the legs if they aren't already. And giving yourself a nice big awakening stretch. Trying to capture this feeling that you've created today in both the body and the mind and carry it with you through the rest of the evening and into tomorrow. And gathering the knees into the body and rolling yourself onto your right side in a fetal position, allowing the earth once more to take your weight and support you. Remember to be kind to yourself. That's the first step in projecting kindness to others. So making sure that you know you're doing the best job you can in your practice and in the rest of your life. Give yourself some credit. Pat on the back every once in a while. And finding your way back into a seated position of Sukhasana. Nice and slow, using that top hand to support you. Just making your way back up nice and slow. Gently opening up the eyes. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling the hands down through your heart center, Anjali Mudra. I want to thank you for sharing your time and your space with me today. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in each of you. Thank you for joining me. It's a little different virtually teaching you all, but I do still feel all of your energy. Thank you for being a part of this class. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.